We're back, I think. Let's check. Nice. Okay. We are back. Hmm. Now the music. I need to mute that. Okay, that works. All ready to go. A little bit late, but it's the weekend. Too much. Alright, last time I did this one. Harvest. Was interesting. I think I pushed it a little bit. Super happy with how everything. Because I have all the detail over here. And then but overall it's very like I think if I were to paint over this, I would do this way. I would just remove the detail in the back. Sort of like this. Like here. Just to make it, and then but then make it go in here, add more detail to the actual fields or whatnot. But I don't want to work this. Things. But I don't know, I feel like getting a bit of action might. So I was thinking I could do some battling, some fighting. Because we already have like this one implies some danger, and go for a bit of a shootout maybe. Would be interesting. And I think what I have in mind, the cards, but not with a car, that with like an airship. Okay. I have taken a bit of a break, so not from drawing necessarily. I did some drawing too, but always. So first up, I'm trying to think. I have this image in my head where I have this one guy who turning back around, sort of leaning almost leaning out of the vehicle. But if I do that, then do oh. Okay. Like there would be someone sitting in front. I have no idea. And there would probably be someone back chasing. Could be. Keep it back for a moment. Think of some. Then I like the other thing would be a maybe a battle of like airships. Because I recently I checked like old images, photos I took, and there was one from a naval museum, big painting of naval battle, where like one ship blows up because the in or ammo storage got hit, powder storage. So maybe I'll do that. Interesting. Then we could establish things have military power as well. We're just going for the and like that's like my gun do. The large pistol apparently. Holland. But like if I would want in that thinking what could I story-wise portray fighting. Maybe there's something. I feel like a bit of an manipulation. Or the other thing, maybe I'll do that. Because the idea with the harvest was to have a paint really far out. I want with like the city painting as well. So maybe I'll try even more. Because I still didn't do that. I didn't get to that. So yeah, let's go for that. I feel like the other things, they are quite tricky. And I would rather have some practice. So first thing is my horizon. We understand that we are looking now. We want to be all the way out. So I would just sort of be my reference. Yeah, I'm just creating like a little shape to give me a bit of guidance. I'm moving through this, and I'll see if that helps. Like an idea. I don't. I mean, I could also draw it, but I'm thinking. So the goal is now to draw in shapes. Before I do realize I have to think about which section of the world I want to show. Thinking the harbor of the city would, or well, the coastline of the city, I suppose. The harbor would probably be here. Rounded. So these cliffs that are rising and falling and whatnot. And then there would the fort. A bomb. I'm starting with very desaturated colors. Will slowly establish a con. Also starting with like beige, because I think it makes for quite a good full base color. Now I can think about the light will probably not in the back. Like I could do something on over here. But I think the light will come from the front, so I can show these red reflections. Or not reflect, just the cliffs are like illuminate red. That's not because it's night, but because they are very reddish. Probably have to push that a bit more to an orange though. Yeah, that's the color. I will not replace all the colors that I threw in there before. I will simply build upon, keep the mistake and make that part. Now I can think about other splotches of color. So maybe there's a park back that we can mark in. Would be a cool shape though. Like we are really far out, so I think are like from a plane or something. I am trying to when I'm on a plane, you look down, the world becomes this very small, insignificant thing in a way. I think that's what I'm going. I don't want to get caught in the deep early. Be very careful. I mean, it is fun to toss in colors. Again, this is like an exercise in building up. It's okay. Paint over. I will paint over everything for quite a bit. On the distant, we have the mountain. I could consider there are to sort of establish a geography and say, okay, Sangrada is maybe surrounded by these prominent. Like I could maybe even do something like this where I say, look, this is a very prominent shape, maybe. Maybe even. There's too much repetition. Gotta be careful with like overhang. maybe like a very plateau-esque. And it's sort of when I do another rather I can just include language. I can just consider like this shape up here. Or sort of have to imagine that's sort of it. Whenever I do that, I know I win. So yeah, I don't know. With these, it's really just building scale, building shapes of thought going on. Now I have a tendency to add these very sharp, barely break into the but trying to move away a little bit. Go for because those allow me to have a bit more content. Now in the mountain up front we can have some lighting, basic, but like less. And these will just go out of the blue range. Just to keep them in the back. Yeah, then we sort of have a backdrop work with. And now we can work on the city. So again, it's moving from larger. So I try to think about large shapes. Like these aren't single buildings, but these are buildings which cluster together. And I mean, ideally I want and add some perspective guideline. This is the tricky part always. Let me clear this for a moment. So I have my front section defined and I have my back section defined. I need to figure out what the hell happens in the middle. I think first I will just like really like there. Would have here sort of shapes of buildings, horizon. I try to paint. Don't want to use full muscle. Really just go in, make very dumb. I'm trying to find a rhythm. I will sort of work forward here. Sort of have this in the back and inform which or like where shapes will be. At least I'm thinking that is the plan, right? Now here and there coloring. We can complicate these structures. In other words, adding a bit deep. Going out some back. Next, I'm trying to figure out a bit more. So I'm cutting into the shapes that already created. I think I'll go to add more color. I want to stay larger those shapes. don't want to move into. Down for a moment. Yeah, I'm just a quiet man. um, I think it's I need to keep the mic here, otherwise it doesn't really pick up. um, yeah, I don't think I like this, so I will just erase it out for a bit. I will do something like this. Up, 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 boom. What I'm trying to keep in mind is that I want to create like layers of buildings. So buildings in front, buildings in back, and they're all sort of grouped. And one tricky thing about it all is like color. I'm wondering, okay, how much variety can I do? How much is allowed? Or it looks off. I don't really know that. So yeah, just keep adding colors, keep adding these very abstract shapes, just squares, keep it simple. I don't want anything organic about the shapes right now. Ideally, they are a bit organic because I paint them and don't use the lasso tool or anything. Right? Going so I'm opening up a bit of by self. And here's like this reference pops up in between. So this looks like very pretty, like monochrome. This is London actually. But like there's one color, two colors, maybe three. I mean there are more. You squint, sort of. But what I'm far more interested in is this part. Because what I can see here, I mean the perspective is a little different, but it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day what you're doing is you just have like planes put in front of planes. But one thing I can tell, oh, that's so cool. Maybe I should do that. Oh, I need a brush like that. I'm usually not a brush person, like I try to do all of these with like the round brush. Or not the round brush, but like my standard brush. But he does everything here sort of with like a really nice square brush. I think there are like 2 or 3 versions maybe. But yeah, he's just and there we can hold it, and then they can blend. Yeah. But far more important, but it's sort of where he leaves it, I think. Okay, goes in and adds it. Okay, I mean, I don't have not what I wanted. So maybe let's focus on throwing all these colors in and more focus on making the shapes good. And so what I can do, like I can throw in some, I can push these colors further into the blue or further into the gray, I suppose. The further back we go. This is a bit of a hassle. Also might want to not there. Like for time saving, it's useful to the color wheel wherever you're currently working. And right now I just wanna keep throwing the colors on here. And I want to create dynamic and interesting overlap between like the elements that I've already added, the elements that I can add. So like maybe I want a tower here. Maybe I want something flat here. I don't want it to be super predictable. Like I can add another tower here, for example. And like 2 towers here. It's Midnight Messiah in the background for me. Can't run music unfortunately because, well, copyright won't let me. I just have to keep my music to myself. I'm wondering if I'm rushing this too much. But I kinda like where it's going right now. So I like to keep the gap over there. I think that's nice. And one thing I just saw is like I don't have to worry about making every shape good, honestly. Like I could, but That's not the goal here. That's not really what I do, at least. So now maybe I can go in and just the coloring. So we could add some purple here. Okay if it bleeds a bit over. Maybe I want to add some different red tone there. But I don't want to leave this range really. Because if I do, then it clashes too much with the foreground elements. And the foreground I want to be warmer. That's the idea now. I'll just push my table up. So now I can stand while working. Okay, collapse this down. This might already be too messy. But you know what, I will try to make it work. Unless no, come. It's simpler if we take it down a bit. Like I will just very chaotically this away. Because I think a systematic approach is better here. So now I have some random color splotches back. I might actually do something like this where I just add a bit more to everything. I think that's not a bad idea. Yeah, sure, why not some blue there. But this is less like these aren't the buildings, are just not that I will work over probably. Mm. Ba-bam. Yeah, really just go in and mess. That's the goal. But ideally I keep it sort of related to this foundation color that I have here. I try to. I feel like it's again has gotten a bit too much out of control. I will just this. Bring everything closer. To like the color I'm going for. Essentially, I don't want that bit that big of a value. I want I take like my black and white scene over it. Yeah, we see like very like there's differentiation going on. And technically I want this. This is good. Green, for example, would have to be this. This will have to hold down more. So the values, yeah, that's blue is also. So the values really don't, or there is no values, just color noise. But I'm not. This is interesting. It's so crazy. Like, they feel so apart. They clearly contrast. But then you do this and they don't contrast at all. I think that's where I'm lacking the most. And like that happen. There again, the screen seems good. I will use it a little bit. Good. Not. We have it red. And now I can go in and add more buildings. And also just because I realized like this will happen, that I just look at whole thing. Maybe I can elements of here and there or expanding shape. In general, the background, although, so I'm already fighting my urge. But this is oh, put it on the circle. Oh, that's fine. Anything on this layer? Yes, the dot. So now I'm drawing in full like, building or shapes with wood. Everything is very two-dimensional. So I'm just working with like blocks, power. As one can see, I'm very elongate shapes. There, there is that. I will, after I have a few of these So add like to them. Maybe not buildings. And I think doing that have to so yeah, again I don't want to afraid of cutting. This is too parallel. And very rich parallel. This is very rich as well. Like the rhythm is so long as there's fast. The moment shapes and overlap, which doesn't play with to an extent. Avoid it. Going for cities. Any very complex, complicated, large city. But I try to so that's not bad. I think again there's like a lot of color for the back. But yeah, now some color variety again with careful with it. Oh, this is like an my bad. A nice little dash. I mean the nice one. So again the colors here can create some depth where look at it, like for example here, I think swapping these around strategically smart, because the neon or the yellow green, I bet this is like a, if I put this out of context, give me a gray. It's pretty yellow to me. No, I'm just chilling for a moment. I will add some clouds to the background. Then fill it. Just like, I think a huge part of getting quick at these to not just understand how to paint them, or how to paint the things, of course, part of being smart, being fast with getting faster. But topic that I'm very interested in well is pacing. Out of the idea that you have so much energy, or you have like cycling energy, and like sometimes you're really really fast because you're just focused on certain thing. Oh, right now I will really look at the login, and it just flows really well. And other times you want to do the same thing, but there because it's, but you could be painting other elements, maybe like, oh, paint trees. I feel like go for it. Sort of recognizing when one or the other works is like an interesting puzzle that can be solved. So essentially I'm taking a break, but I'm still working on the painting. That's how I imagine right now. Yeah. Okay. So there, well, I don't know if I want to add like this layer and try here and there that, or I mean brighter versions of color, get them here. There's like hitting kind of so I'm combining colors really. Like this is very flat line because I'm just looking like, okay, what oh, then I would bump that color up. That's increase the brightness, that's the light. Usually not want to light that. I like to throw in the outline colors here. I think they add some realistic. Yeah, in the back I throw a little that in. I also think the shadow here still that one. Okay. Move. So now we get a brighter the shapes that larger. Have to be careful though. If I make them too large, like I do think this is sort of what I would want for the front. I think I need to increase like the harbor area. In terms of making it larger, like it would be more. That's okay. That can arrange those that would be. I think this will really show how much has been taken out. Doing the back to this. So these shapes in front, they are sort of guiding now. They inform size I'm aiming for things. There aren't that much, like, so there won't be growth. Interesting. I might actually rescale it just a little bit, or I do this little trick so we get more the background. But yeah, we figure it out. Now this is a nice section part, and the idea just came because there's like, but it's cool because so right here I'm encountering the sort of problem that I drew some of the shape further up. They are not overlapping. The wrong. I don't stress about that. Keep going. All that. Man, this is really just meditation at this point. Just me. Okay. That's sometimes a lot of painting, sitting down, calling it a day. Can't quite call it a day, but edit the shapes. Oh, we'll bit of light, like an so variety that I know about building I mean, we are creating a cityscape. I think in that we actually excited how this will. I don't know that it will be super good, but it will be like wow, like out cutting ahead a bit. This is what is, but I just felt like it. Okay. So next layer. Oh. And yeah, over here I have like an arc section for a part. So why not commit to that? Some round shape. We can push this, like I can say, okay, maybe there are like large trees here. This would be very large, but by adding these shapes, we can sort of get an idea we're going. I will take them. Okay, so sort of a park shape. Sprawling. Okay, let's see how much of that detail will actually survive. I think I'll keep. So now I will switch around. This is such a good shape. Wait, maybe I can work with this. So pretty already. So yeah, now I have to think about how I want to use color. Uh, I need to think about how I can so it's distinct from the background, but also can roll forward. Oh yeah, here I want definitely cut in, hide a bit from the part. Now I don't know, just good. Though there might actually be something that I have to consider. To the front we get, the more we're looking buildings, of course. But for now, I would consider the previous strategy. But yeah, like the background can be two-dimensional, but the front there, I will have to contend with three-dimensional object. Scary. It really is just a just rows and rows. Now with cars. I don't want to rush. I want this even. If I change the pace, I will focus of an area. And that is also like that you are aware of it. I mean, technically, don't. Piece in one sitting. I draw a lot of two sit over time, but when you do everything in one sitting, you can or you should consider your pacing, that to identify if you close up, or rather while you're working, recognize, do you work fast, do you work slow? And what you want to do is, if you want fast now, then you move to work for faster apps like clouds, I can like dynamic plants, trees, ideally no tech, no detail, or low detail. And the reason for that is because when you do that, so you do that, and you can then take that quick energy sort of and apply it to like the section, and it will look good because, you know, yeah, it's a fast section, so fast art style works for it. And then you can move over to like when you notice, okay, I just worked fast, now I'm going down again, and move back towards areas that work well for like a slower pacing. So that would be the opposite, so more detailed thinking, expensive areas. And that way you create a bit of a seesaw. I mean, people would say, well, isn't that sort of natural? If I'm at a difficult section, I slow down. If I'm at a easy section, I will speed up. And yeah, of course. But there's also an internal rhythm that you have. I guess you could compare it to if you're running, for example. You sometimes easier change your speed slightly now and then instead of just running the same pace. Like for example, I'm someone when I do endurance, so like I don't know the exact word. Endurance running, no. Essentially just running for like extended time. What worked best for me was always just pick someone in front of me, something in front of me, and say, "Hey, gotta get there." Gotta get, like, especially if I was running with other people, always like, okay, this guy is in front of me. I will run to this guy. Now this guy is in front of me, so I will run to this guy. And so, like, one by one, I overtake people. Or not if they're too fast. That happens. But because I'm doing that, I have this steady pace and faster, 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 faster. Eventually, I can't go faster. I would slow down. But then I see like the slow down, and then I again see like a person, and I think, okay, let's get to this guy. And so there's a bit of a seesaw. Meanwhile, when I'm just running by myself and only have like, okay, the static, I want to get to this person or to this point. I noticed that that's a lot harder because I only reference my own speed. And then what happens is I will just speed up, speed up, speed up at like at a very quick pace, and it exhausts me way more. And as a result, I get exhausted sooner. So for me, it's useful to have like other people give me sort of a, how does that then with running, like running and drawing mix well, as I mentioned, this idea that even though I was running like the same distance, maybe more exhausting because the way I accelerated was different. Technically, I have the stamina for both. I don't know if that much sense. I'm more focused on the painting, but I try to talk. So here I am introducing shadows to allude to the three-dimensionality a bit more. Now I didn't draw in a grid, so That's a shame. But I'll manage to work without it. I hope. Mhm. Oh yeah, this here is a good shape, by the way. So I have this three-dimensionality. So I want to allude to that by having like buildings at different angles. And I'm also not too worried about getting all the shadows right, because that too can make a building appear to be at an angle, which is a good effect right now. I want to add some color. I just noticed like maybe it's too gray for what I'm going for. I just take a bit of a color layer. I'll erase quite a bit of it. Okay. Because the background is already so colorful. Feel like I want some color here. That's enough though. Going at a really slow pace right now. Adding more color. Mm. Mm. Yeah, now I would switch off. Um, or check how main vector and vector do a bit of eye measurement. Do I have checking something? Mm, oh, there's that, I suppose. Okay, moving on. I think the way I look at it right now, the harbor is too small. Because it's technically the giant almost size of the city, not this itself, is rather large. So it would. I think I went, but those are learning. Like I'm ready. Again, just maybe over here doesn't feel as well. Air shard. Also, and we maybe that all. Oh, wait. So we could be sort of. Yeah, actually, it would be probably simply because it's in the story, close to the main underground. Yes, it is. It is an underworld. Um, but like over here under the city, there's like a weak spot, which has to be checked on thoroughly. Because if it breaks, it it would damage the city above a bit. It would, um, it would spell an end for like the underground cities. By the way, this area spans a bit further. It's smaller than the upside. Still fucking huge though. But I don't imagine it being like impossibly sized. Just very difficult to navigate, and there's like a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So this is like a habit that I noticed. The closer I get to the cam, the larger the buildings get, which makes sense, like that's what's happening. But I'm just overdoing it. I can maybe fix it a little bit by saying, okay, let's take like all the shapes back. Put these shapes in the back, make them a bit larger. So we do be zooming in a little bit more. I'm thinking I should have started with like these sketches here. No, actually I'll keep it this way. I started this way, I'll end it this way. Cube, cube. Yeah, I will just ease the transition with a bit of perspective trickery. Just throw in shapes that connect. Over here we have like a long hall, and then I'll just make it so that the airship field is on this side. That way I can keep this pretty empty, because an airship field is essentially just a lot of nothing. I want to have shapes in front here. Mm-hmm. And there are probably like weird structures in between. Something like that. From very far away is kind of works. From up close, not quite. But we're almost there. I think I'll finish. I think I'll finish.